Alright, so we got the rear end straightened out. One of the biggest problems is that the trunk latch is broken. Nick Priono has actually said that he would go back and re-fiberglass the thing for us and get the latch to work, but I think in the meantime I got to get it closed. So I'm going to try to make some bracing. It's really simple paneling that we can put in and then remove when he wants to redo it. If he ends up redoing it, if not, this will probably work for quite some time. So let's get into it.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Alright, so we need to take this piece of metal here. I'm just going to cut it in half. Not exactly in half, but as close as I can, because I'm not going to measure it. Again, temporary. And I'm going to drill some holes into it and get this trunk to latch again. So let's say it's right there.
Something else you must be willing to relocate and if not,
voila.
don't waste the wonderful steps.
Two pieces. We have a burr here, so we're going to try to get a file and take that off. A little cornwell kit.
Your expert at routerwithcrowder.com. You are to title your email. I am the expert you seek. Dash your critical photo batching skills amongst the resume. Don't include any weird images of yourself.
I just want to smooth this out because I don't want to deal with like any burrs or anything like that.
I don't even know what it became.
Alright.
I'm not dollars in G6. I don't know who said it. Claims a G6. No, that's not what I remember my parents telling me how good.
Now we have those. Let's get the drill. Got a drill. It's a terrible idea. Rip. That's why it's a terrible idea. Luckily it's aluminum, so it's not too stout when you end up actually drilling through it.
Let it crush you. And for a while I did. I had a pity party. I could get baked into one.
Alright, let's go test this on the car. So this is what we're working with here. The latch is broken off and we need to get it back together. So it looks like it's going to work. So essentially it'll be like that, and then I'll have another screw or two here, and then the same thing on this side, and then I'll use the main bolts that hold the latch to the trunk to hold the braces in. Let me go wrap up the other side and then I'll come back and film what's next. Got it to work, I think. Maybe not. Oh, there it goes. So I don't actually think that I have to, well, this one's, take that back, I didn't get it. Alright. So, I still went with the double bolt stitch. Obviously you saw the last one was a fail. The only thing that I think I'm gonna run into is this latch not latching properly. Yeah, it's not lined up right, but once I push it in a little bit with my thumb, there it is. Pretty squared up. There's still a little bit of like misalignment there, you can see that. Overall, this thing looks pretty damn good. I'm excited. I'm happy with it. You know what I want to see? I want to see the freaking tail lights on. So I got these lights from Joe and Frankie. And I never quite got to see them like on. Yeah. I love that globe shape. It's got like a round shape on the outsides and then solid on the inside. The trunk latch is fixed. This gap here didn't really close too much. I found out that it was more the bumper. And then we got the xenon headlights. They sell the plastics online for pretty cheap actually, and you can just swap out just the lens. So I think that's probably going to be like one of the next things I order. And then we have fresh grills. Frankie and Joe got us grills also. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. This thing's all spotty because I washed it and didn't wipe it down. Well, that's it. That was just a quick one for you guys. Give you something to watch. Spend some time hanging out with each other. Or you guys rather hanging out with me. Because it kind of is a one-way, somewhat of a one-way relationship. Yeah, let me know what other ideas you guys have. I know one of you guys wants me to do the AIM digital dash wire up, which is kind of, I can do it, but mainly the way it's done is that I had mine calibrated by the guys at AIM. My old boss, John, gave me the digital dash, and then I went to AIM and I bought the sensors, and then I had to just go get adapter fittings to plug them all in. AIM calibrated everything and put it in the certain spots on the digital dash for me. And then I went and installed the sensors, and then AIM wired up the little plugs for me, so it actually gets pinned into the back of the dash, and then that wire comes out and goes to a plug. And then you have, they sell like adapter cords, pretty much extension cords. So you have your oil pressure or pressure sensor, because they have temp sensors and pressure sensors, and you can pretty much do everything. You can do oil temp, you can do coolant temp, you can do oil pressure, you can do boost pressure, you can do anything because it reads in PSIs and Fahrenheit and Celsius depending on what you want to do. But anyways, what I'm saying is that they set all that stuff up for you and calibrate it. You take the sensor with the little plug on the backside, screw it into your motor. You take the dash, you mount it wherever you're going to mount it. You put the plug on the backside of that, and then that has a little plug that goes into the dash, and then the plug that comes out, there's another little plug. And then you put an extension cord between that plug over to wherever your sensor plug is, and then it's in. And it's very, very, very simple. It's not difficult at all. Anthony actually wired it all up for us. If you go through CBM, they sell harnesses and they have tack wires on them. So the tack wire, again, it's calibrated at AIM will help you calibrate it depending on what your motor is and what your tooth count is on your your crank, or I think on the LS it's the crank. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyways, they'll help you calibrate it so that it reads the right RPMs, and then you can also have them set up your resistance for your fuel level. So you take the sending wires that are in the BMW and you extend one that goes to a wire that they wire in off the back of the plug, off the main dash plug, and then you just hook it up and it'll read the millivolts or whatever, however your system's set up. On these, there's a millivolt setting, so at a certain millivolt it's full, at a certain millivolt it's empty. You can find those online. I think it's like 140's empty and 690's full, but 690 is when the float like tops out, so you could be above that, and then it slowly progressively comes down, and then it finally goes from 690. You know, you can drive for a while on 690, and then all of a sudden you start seeing it go down. So there's different things like that, but it's very, very, very simple, and if you talk with them, they could even calibrate the dash for you. You have to have those specific numbers for them, but you can do it yourself pretty freaking easy. It's really not hard. Digital dashes are intimidating, but if you have a good harness, chassis harness, or if you know your chassis harness, which isn't that difficult, you just got to know which wires are like your fuel sending, which wire off of your engine harness is your tack, and then the others are all pressure and temp, and then that's really it. Because I have coolant temp, I have oil pressure, I have fuel level, which is a wire off the chassis, and then I have, what was the other one? Oh, and then the RPM, and that's a wire off the chassis. Everything else is sensors, or the dash already has a built-in voltmeter. It's already built into the dash, so you supply power to the dash, and the dash tells you how many volts it has. Speedo, that's another one. They sell a GPS like little piece that you can even, I think you could even use as a tracker. I'm probably wrong, but that's a magnetic setup with another little pin on another plug on the back side of it. So you put yours, like mine's on my roof under my antenna. You clip it onto the roof, you run the wire down, plug it into the back of the dash, and it tells you how fast you're going. So unfortunately you can't read like wheel spin speed, which I think you can if you get a different style of sensor, but I didn't really care to do that. I just did GPS, and so now I know how fast I'm going when I'm actually moving. And from what I understand, it's pretty damn accurate. So that's kind of the way that my AIM dash is set up. It's fairly simple. If you're doing an E46 chassis, I think Beamer World or somebody, I'm not sure. If you just type in AIM MXS Strata dash mount or whatever, it'll come up for an E46 already. Like, go to Google Images, you'll see like a black one. You click it, it takes you to an E46 website or some BMW website, and that's the one for that dash. So if you do AIM, I highly suggest it. It has so many more features. I'm not even tapping into them all. I'm just not there yet with like data logging and all that stuff, but you can do throttle position, you can do so many things, and then it'll save it all, and then you can go back and look at it and see how hard you're on throttle, if you were wide open, if you lifted, all that stuff. Anyways, the AIM Digital Dash is amazing. That's a quick rundown for you. The wiring is very, very simple, and it's not difficult at all. I think all in all, you'd get into it for around $1,500 to $1,600, which isn't bad when you're thinking about buying every single gauge, which aren't cheap unless you do like AutoZone ones, which I did for a while, but they're not very cheap. Even at AutoZone, I think they're still like 60, 50 bucks a piece. And then really the biggest thing is you want legit accurate readings, so you're going to end up buying the expensive ones. The reason you want the readings right is because you got to protect your investment. Your cars aren't cheap. The motor alone in this thing with CBM cost me quite a bit of money still, even though we're partnered up. It's a part of the game. You want to be safe. You want to make sure you're reading all your vital signs. You want to get a baseline for your vital signs and see if they go under or over. Things like that, temps, oil pressures. You just want to be watching and observant of what's going on with your motor to make sure that you don't go and send it and then blow the damn thing. You don't want to do that. So I highly suggest getting a digital dash because they're super legit and really easy to work with, and AIM has customer support here in Southern California, so that's kind of a big deal for me. I know there's other digital dash companies out there. I choose AIM. I just freaking love them, and I got it from work for free from my boss, so but I went with it. I freaking love it. Anyways, that's kind of a quick rundown real quick on the dash. Let me power it up for you so you can see kind of some of the numbers. So it's pretty sick. You can program it to say your own thing. Mine says hold fast. You can also set up warning lights, which is really cool. The warning lights will tell you, like right now, my oil PSI is down there, and then it has a warning on the lights on the side, and then the red bar on the bottom, and the number goes red. Same thing with my coolant temp. It's at 81 right now, but as it goes up, it'll go from white to yellow to red. There's my volts, and then 560 millivolts essentially for the fuel pressure there. Mile per hour is up here. RPM goes across the screen, and then you can do even your lap, and this is a RPM number. So it'll show you like the gauge going across, and then there's the number. But this thing's pretty rad. Alright, so there you have it. Trunk is somewhat fixed, patched up, I guess you could say. The digital dash situation, that's what I'm working with. And the E46 is kind of clean. Pawnee's still alive. Luckily, she's surviving, dealing with me. Pawnee, say hi to the people. No, no, no. Don't eat that. Alright guys, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. I see everything. I love you guys. You guys are freaking dope. Again, without all of you guys and your help on whether it be Instagram or look, she ate it. What are you eating? Put it down. Drop it. No, no. Again, without you guys, it makes life a lot more difficult to get partnerships and things like that. So I appreciate you guys. You guys help me. You're as much a part of the team as you know, a lot of the guys on the team are. So thank you so much. As always, stay safe.